So moving right along in the show here, we are just flying through. We're already a quarter way through the show. The other night, Thursday night, we did the Thursday night high school football game of the week. We featured Corona del Sol hosting Dobson High School, the Mustangs, and two programs near and dear to my heart. I grew up idolizing these schools and programs, and so on the phone with us, we've got Coach Bill Gottsel from Dobson High School. Coach Gottsel, good morning, sir.
Doing.
How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Just watching a little game day and watching some film.
That's it, Coach. Thank you again for having us out for your Thursday night football game of the week against the Corona del Sol Aztecs. Obviously, the game didn't turn out the way you guys had hoped, but there were some positive things to take from the game the other night for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, we had a lot of third and fourth string line in because of injuries, so it was good to get the youth to have some experience going into next year.
You know, those sophomores that you suited out, you told me that there's a real youth movement, a lot of exciting things going on over there on Dobson and Guadalupe and Mesa, and with people, kids buying in, families buying in, the community buying in. Tell us about this youth movement that you had. You've got quite a group coming up from the lower levels. Yeah,
I'm excited about my sophomores and my juniors. They've really bought in the last couple of years. And our freshman program, we've got some really good second, third generation Dobson alum. And so I'm excited about that movement.
A great effort put on by your team the other night. Obviously, the game didn't come out the way you had hoped, but you guys are going to be on our game of the week next week as well, and you're going to be at home. Talk about that game and how excited you guys are to get right back out there and get after it again.
I'm excited. I mean, Coach Barrow and I have been trying to play each other for a while now, so we're kind of excited that we get to do that. He grew up in the Dobson area, so, you know, it's good for him to come home to that area. So I know my kids are excited about it. And, you know, the school's really excited to host a Thursday night game and have it televised.
Coach, we are, and we're going to be revisiting the past because, as you know, I'm a big time historian, and a lot of things, you know, have influenced me, and I'm fortunate enough to do what I'm doing now with my partner here. But we've got a movement going on where you've got people that are starting to come out of the woodwork that are supporting your program, that were part of that state championship team in '87. Tell us how you've been received by those guys and how they're helping.
Well, I open my doors to any alum, and it started off with Derek Zellner, the head coach at Gilbert High School, and who was the quarterback on that team. And when I got hired, he reached out to me and kind of put me in contact with some other guys. And then this past summer, right after the lockdown was over, I was able to get out to Toby Wright's gym and get to meet him and develop a relationship with him. And then Stephen Roush, the kicker from that team, reached out to me on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, wants to come around the program and see how things are going. And, you know, we try to build that family atmosphere out there at Dobson. And, you know, you got to have your old uncles come back into the program.
Coach, how does that affect the players? Are they able to buy in maybe just a little bit more? And how do they ask about the history there at Dobson High School as it relates to the football program? You know, some great players there back in the 80s, as we talk about all the time. Do you see the kids kind of line up like, wow, we're really part of something special here, aren't we?
Absolutely. The Wright brothers both have their jerseys retired, so they see them in the hallway all the time. But when they got the chance to meet Toby a couple weeks ago, that it clicked, everything like linked together, and they're like, oh, wow, Dobson does have a history of positive athletics and positive academics.
Well, this week is definitely Dobson week for the JV Sports Show leading up to the Thursday night game of the week. We're featuring you again tomorrow night on the JV Sports Show on Cox 4, Phoenix 7, Tucson 10:30, and then it streams on YouTube after that. So, Coach, thank you so much for allowing us in and access and the opportunity to cover you guys. We look forward to getting out there on Thursday, and thanks again.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Go Mustangs.
Appreciate your time. Have a good Saturday,
right,
Coach. We'll see you next
All right,
week.
you guys have a good game. All right, bye.
On the line, we have Gilbert High School head football coach Derek Zellner. But more importantly, aside from what he's doing today, was what he did 30 years ago. Coach Zellner was the quarterback on Dobson's state championship football team in 1987.
87.
Yes.
Championship quarterback. Coach Zellner, how are you, sir?
Hello, Derek Zellner.
Yep. Yes, sir.
There he is. Coach Zellner, you're no Uncle Rico. You actually played, and you delivered a state championship for your Dobson Mustangs.
Yeah, that was 100 years ago.
Yeah. Wow. So tell us about the youth movement that you see, and then we'll talk a little about your program, what you see going on at Dobson under Coach Bill Gottsel.
Well, I've gotten to know Bill over the past couple years. We usually do a scrimmage with one another in Westwood, and getting to know him, he's been a class guy, and he reaches out to the former players because he wants to get a lot of the things that we did back in the day implemented into the program or re-implemented into the program. And I'll tell you what, Dobson's in good hands with Coach Gottsel. They got a great principal in Principal Buckley, and they're heading in the right direction, and Bill's doing all the right things. I know he had Toby come out and speak a couple weeks ago. Toby's a great player, from Dobson and then on to Nebraska and with the Rams, and a tremendous role model. So, Bill's trying to put the right people in front of those kids to get them going in the right direction and change the culture over there at Dobson High.
James, Vice Mayor John Crane just crossed the finish line. I think we're going to have to call a crash cart over here today. Hey, it was only 5K, John. Okay.
3.1 miles.
Yes, 3.1. Yes. Okay, so Coach Zellner, stay on the line with us. And also joining us, I don't know, Aaron, if you could patch him in as well, the kicker off the state championships team, Steve Roush. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, so you got one of your old teammates on the phone with you. Kicker is a different breed, James. Those guys kind of run their own program. What was it like playing? Either of you guys could take this question. What was it like playing for Coach Mike Clark back in the day?
Coach Z, you want to take the lead on that?
Oh, Coach Clark. Coach Clark was awesome. We kind of thought he was crazy at the time, but the lessons that he taught all of us are with us 32 years later after graduating, and we couldn't be more privileged and lucky to have Coach Clark lead us through the years that we were all at Dobson High. And you know what? He still keeps in touch with many of us today. And his big thing back then was they're not going to judge me as a coach by my wins and losses here at Dobson. They're going to judge me 20 to 30 years later after the kids and players that he coached and taught what they've gone on and done in society and within the communities that they live, and the husbands and that they've become and the fathers that they've become. And, we can't say enough to Coach Clark.
You two guys are a big part of the Dobson legacy there. And how excited are you guys to see a guy like Coach Bill Gottsel come in and try to reestablish that championship culture, let's face it, championship culture there at Dobson High School, and get back to some of those years of dominance that you guys had?
It's a long time coming, and I'll echo what Coach Z said, and Derek and I have remained very close friends for, gosh, Z, what is it, 30 plus years now? We're getting old.
Yes, we are.
And I try to help out with Coach Zellner's kickers over at Gilbert, and it's great to see because they're laying a foundation there that Coach Clark did for us, and I really think these kids want structure and they want to be led, and that's what he's doing, and it's really as much as anything teaching them to be accountable, on and off the field, just like Coach Zellner does with his boys as well. And, taking those coaching lessons on the field and applying it in the classroom and in life. And these kids are going to be fine. They've got a great leader, and I'm going to get out to see one of their games here soon. I'm excited.
So here's a plug for football, and the definite plug for football, James. And you and I, we have relationships going back with guys that we played with 30 some odd years ago. And here's two guys that played on the same field on the same team together 33 years ago, won a championship. They're still as tight as ever today. Do you guys maintain a lot of those relationships? And how important do you feel is it for kids to have this opportunity when you've got, movements going on that potentially where they're trying to remove these opportunities for kids?
Well,
Steve, maybe you take this one. Steve, you were a kicker.
Yeah, it goes beyond, the sport and but what it teaches you and the character, the discipline, the resolve, and just how to deal with adversity and conflict. You take it with you for the rest of your life. I mean, there is a bond. I mean, it was without question that 87 state championship team at Dobson is the most memorable time I've ever played. I was fortunate. I went on to play at ASU, and we had a lot of guys. But I'll say this, you know, it's also the coaches and the leadership, but we had a very dynamic, strong, passionate team. I mean, we had Toby's older brother, T.C. Wright, and T, I know you'll agree with this.
Who was, I do have a question. Who was the guy that was a pole vaulter that was like the tailback?
I've ever experienced. And at 17 years old, I mean, I'd match him up against, you know, any businessman in this world. I mean, and he just had that ability to get everybody motivated, but in the right way. And when you've got those foot soldiers on the field and you come together as a team, it's powerful. And, you know, we I think our 5th game into the season, we lost and we were 3-2, and we all came together as a team, and we made a commitment to each other and basically said this isn't going to happen again. Well, we went 9-0 and won the state championship after that.
Who was the guy that was the pole vaulter in track that was the tailback? What was his name? You guys had
that was Josh Arnold.
Josh Arnold. What happened? He went to like BYU or something, didn't he?
He is currently my uncle. I married his oldest sister's daughter, so we're family.
I like how you say currently.
Yeah, okay. That's got to be weird for
you
family.
guys talk about life's about relationships. You know, we were family back in 84, 85, 86, 87, 88. You know, growing up in junior high and high school, and now we're still family today, 33 years later. So
coach is still trying.
Now you guys are getting to
do.
watch your own kids play ball and come up through the ranks, the Pee Wee ranks, and play some little league baseball and all that stuff. It's so much more than football, guys. I'm sure you would agree. These are relationships that you make on and off the field, especially with guys that you play with. I tell kids all the time, you know, you probably won't keep in touch with most of the people that you think you will after high school, but the guys that you play ball with, you'll talk to them 20, 30, 40 years later, and it's amazing. So there's a lot more to it than football.
100% spot on with that.
Do you, and forgive me, it's been so many years, but do you guys still keep in touch with Coach Clark?
Coach Clark reaches out to me and wishes me good luck in my games.
Does he still tell you what to do?
He does not tell me what to do.
Okay.
He's enamored by what he calls basketball on grass, which is just spread off into
Basketball on grass, I like that.
Oh, that's hilarious. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you so much. Coach Derek Zellner from Gilbert. We got to get out to Gilbert and do a game, Jay.
Oh, yeah, the Tigers.
Come on out. We'd love to have you.
They've had a couple of players over there over the last couple of years, Vince. Will Plumber, to name a few.
They have, and Steve Roush and the legend. You know, we don't have many kickers in our program, but this is one guy we'll make an exception for. So
there you go. That's
Steve
right.
Roush played at ASU and been around and still tied in with the Dobson.
Third of the game, Vince, right there. Don't discredit it.
It is a third of the game.
That's right.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great Saturday.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you for having us. You do the
Thank
same.
you, guys. Go Mustangs.
Talk to you, Steve. Go Stangs.
Okay, so so a big game this week. Thursday night, we're going to be out at Dobson. It's going to be Casa Grande, Coach Jake Barrow and his ground pound attack with the Cougars going over to Dobson to face the Mustangs. Coach Bill Gottsel. And so a lot of good stuff. I just remember those bleachers at Dobson. I was so intimidated. I was a Camelback grad, graduated in '89, but I went there for a camp once, and I met Coach Clark, and I met some of the guys, and these guys were just, I mean, so many numbers. Their team probably could fill those bleachers.
Yeah, and they don't really need to do a whole lot of practice on the field, but so what they do is they go and they just run the stairs all day.
Run the stadium steps, yes. Yeah. So, anyway. But,
stuff there.
James, so
pride is being restored out there in the East Valley.
Pride is being restored
off of Guadalupe Road, Vince.
Yes.